celebs. You either love them or hate them. Some people even treat them like gods. But what happens when the curtain falls and we see a much darker truth? More and more, we're seeing these idols, these people we admire, accused of horrible things, especially having inappropriate relationships with kids. These aren't just accusations. They're serious claims with real victims, forever changed by what happened. Join me as we explore the dark world of celebrity underage scandals. Elvis Presley, the king of rock and roll. Everyone knows his name. His music, his style, his charm captivated an entire generation. But behind the bright smile and dance moves lies a controversial part of his life: his relationship with Priscilla Ann Wagner. They met in Germany while Elvis was in the army. She was only 14 years old. He was 24. This wasn't just a quick fling. It grew into a relationship that lasted for years. They eventually got married when Priscilla was 21. Their marriage was a significant event, marking the culmination of their long-term romance. Over the years, people have seen their romance as a fairy tale. But the age difference raises some serious questions. A 24-year-old with a girl who's barely a teenager? This isn't about saying Elvis was a bad person, but about facing some hard truths. And with a new movie coming out that takes another look at their relationship, it's time we ask ourselves, was this true love or something much more troubling? R. Kelly, who called himself the Pied Piper of R&B, built his career on catchy songs and a very sexual image. But underneath it all, there was a dark side, one that would destroy his career and make him known as a predator. For years, people whispered about his behavior. Whispers about inappropriate relationships with young girls, about manipulation and control. These whispers became accusations, court cases, and in the end, guilty verdicts. Many women came forward, sharing their stories of being abused by R. Kelly, showing a disturbing picture of a man who used his fame and power to take advantage of young women. The accusations were shocking, but what was just as bad was the silence that allowed his behavior to go on for so long. Those who tried to speak out were often silenced, their voices drowned out by the music and the fame. Kelly's story is a harsh reminder of how power can be abused in the entertainment industry and how we all have a duty to speak out against abuse, no matter whose it is. Jeffrey Epstein was a man who knew important people, a wealthy businessman who spent time with presidents and princes. But his real desires were hidden. He was a predator, hiding in plain sight. Epstein's huge mansion in Palm Beach, Florida became infamous. Behind its gates and perfect lawns, something sinister was happening. Young girls, some barely teenagers and still holding teddy bears, were lured into his web of manipulation. They were promised money, modeling jobs, even access to Epstein's powerful friends. But these promises turned into nightmares. Epstein's luxurious home became a prison, a place where innocence was stolen and no one heard their cries for help. Whispers about Epstein's terrible acts started spreading beyond his mansion. Victims came forward. Their stories very similar and awful, showing a pattern of abuse. But Epstein wasn't alone. His group of friends, powerful people who ignored what was happening or even took part, are still a secret. The question that haunts us all: how deep does this go? How many powerful people were part of Epstein's web of manipulation? The truth, it seems, is always scarier than fiction. And in the case of Jeffrey Epstein, the truth is still a mystery, a scary reminder of the darkness that can hide behind wealth and power. But behind the amazing performer and the charity work, a dark cloud of accusations hung over him. We're not here to talk about his music. We're here to talk about the serious accusations of child sexual abuse that have followed him for decades. These weren't just rumors. These were detailed stories from many people claiming they were abused by Jackson at his Neverland Ranch. The world watched in disbelief, torn between the image of the global superstar and the disturbing accusations against him. How could someone so loved, someone who sang about healing the world, be capable of such terrible things? That's the question that has divided fans, critics, and legal experts. These weren't just small accusations. They were serious charges that rocked his entire career. They led to big investigations, many lawsuits, and a very public trial that the whole world was watching, making headlines everywhere. The trial was a huge media event, with every detail examined and analyzed by both the press and the public. Witnesses spoke, evidence was carefully presented, and Jackson himself strongly denied everything, saying he was innocent the whole time. But the doubt remained, casting a long shadow over his legacy. The jury decided Jackson was not guilty of any of the charges, but the damage to his reputation was already done. His reputation was ruined forever, leaving a permanent mark on how people saw him. The public was split in half. Some people still believed he was innocent, passionately defending him, saying there were problems with the accuser's stories and not enough real proof. They said Jackson was a victim of just people trying to get money from him, targeted because he was rich and famous. Others, though, were sure he was guilty, pointing to the pattern of behavior that seemed too troubling to ignore. The many times he paid money to settle cases out of court, and how uncomfortable his close relationships with young boys were, which many found deeply disturbing. These relationships made people ask a lot of questions and made the controversy even bigger. Even after his death, Michael Jackson remains a mystery, a complicated and tragic person whose amazing talent is always overshadowed by these horrible accusations. His legacy, once celebrated, is now something people endlessly debate and think about, leaving the world struggling to understand the two sides of his life and career. The accusation shocked Hollywood and the rest of the world. Could this famous filmmaker, this man known for his odd characters and thoughtful stories, be capable of such a horrible thing? The public struggled with the accusations, not sure who or what to believe. This relationship, while legal, seemed wrong to many people and made the abuse accusations against him even worse. Alan has always denied abusing anyone, saying that Dylan was told what to say by Mia Farrow during a nasty custody battle. He still says he's innocent, but the accusations have permanently hurt his legacy and career. The case never went to court, leaving many questions unanswered and no justice. But Dylan Farrow has continued to say she was abused, repeating her accusations in interviews and letters. The public is still divided, some believing Alan's story and others believing Dylan. The Woody Allen case is a stark reminder that being famous and successful doesn't mean someone can't abuse others or be accused of it. It shows how complicated these cases are, the emotional damage they cause, how hard it is to prove or disprove accusations in court, and the lasting impact they have on everyone involved, leaving scars that may never fully heal. We've delved into the dark side of Hollywood, revealing the disturbing truth that often lurks behind the fame and fortune. From Elvis Presley's controversial relationships to the unsettling accusations against Michael Jackson and Woody Allen, we've witnessed how some of the biggest names in entertainment have been accused of abusing their power in terrible ways. These stories serve as a stark reminder that fame and fortune don't place anyone above accountability. We've seen how these scandals have deeply affected the people making the accusations, who are often met with disbelief, scrutiny, and even threats for speaking out against powerful people. Their bravery in coming forward is often met with a lot of negativity, making it even harder for them. The entertainment industry has a long history of protecting its own, often ignoring accusations of bad behavior to protect reputation and money. This silence has allowed many people to escape consequences for too long. But things are changing. The public is speaking up more and more. As more and more people find the courage to come forward, the public is becoming more aware of how common these problems are. This awareness is very important for making change happen and making sure justice is served. It's our job as consumers and as people to hold these celebrities responsible for what they do, to listen to the people making accusations, and to demand justice for those who have been hurt. We have to use our voices to support those who have been silenced. We have to stay alert, informed, and committed to finding the truth and demanding accountability, no matter how uncomfortable it might be. Our combined effort can make a real difference. Remember, silence only helps abusers. Speaking up is the first step towards justice. Together, we can make the world a safer and fairer place for everyone.